Go, girl.
Thank you.
Dylan
Okay.
and Cassidy. Yum.
Yes, a double whammy today.
Ooh.
Yeah, so today we actually decided to do our class on building confidence in the social media world because we had the pleasure of doing an open forum last week, and so many people were saying how they just needed some more confidence regarding posting and social media. So we're like, here is the perfect opportunity to kind of amp everybody up on ways that we think will really benefit them in feeling more confident. So that is what we're going to do our class on today. Um, let's go through to the next slide. Dylan, you ready?
I'm ready. Let's do it. So, um, before we go over everything we're going over today, I'd like to pose a question to everybody in the meeting, and that is, who could benefit from more confidence in their social media game? If you feel like you could benefit from more confidence, let's drop an emoji in the chat.
Oh, Christ, now I have to do emojis?
Well, and that's including
Can't
ourselves
wait a minute.
because
I can't even find an emoji. I'm gonna
Oh,
steal Robert's emoji.
oh man.
See, watch. I just stole Robert's. Good job.
Wait, mine didn't do an emoji. Ah.
Yeah, so like Cassidy was saying, in the open forum last time, we noticed a common theme that, and that, with us as well, that there's some fear when going online, right? There's a fear of being seen. There might be a fear of being judged. Nice emojis, Neil. There you go.
I'm an overachiever.
I like it. Yeah, so today we're going to go through 5 main steps to build your confidence on social media. And so this is our table of confidence instead of table of contents. Cassidy is punny, and I like it. And so first we're going to address the
I'm
mental block.
stealing that, by the way.
Yes, please do.
Good, steal away. So first we're going to address the mental blocks, right? We have to find the fear and then reframe it. Next, and then we're going to go over on how to decide on an aesthetic and some tips to do so. And then we're going to talk about goal setting. We're going to talk about making a sustainable strategy for your social media. And then we're going to cap it off with embracing authenticity, because being you and having fun is really what all this is about.
Yes, so let's go on.
Right. So first, we're going to address our mental blocks. So I'd like to pose another question. So for those of us in the meeting that would like to start on their social media, everyone who dropped an emoji, what's keeping you from starting? What do you feel is holding you back currently? And you can drop it in the emoji. You can drop it in the chat.
So I'll volunteer is I don't my fear of doing it more often is it's not going to generate anything of value. So why even get started?
Thank you. That's a great example, and I feel like I struggle with that myself, and a lot of people do. And I think that's a great example because we can reframe it in a really interesting way. So a lot of time, there's this fear of like putting in a ton of work and not getting a lot out of it. And so reframing that block to setting our goal setting will help us to reframe that block as well. But we've got to think about how we can move forward in a way that is affirming. So if the goal on social media is right to get more sales, or perhaps to maybe it's to grow your influence, reframing what it is that you want out of it will help you to go into it without that fear of not getting anything back, right? So let's say, if we reframe it in a way that's, okay, I enjoy social media. Social media is an expression for me. It's an outlet for creative expression. And then so the productivity perhaps of it all might not be as important because you get to take joy or take pleasure in the process of it. And then that will, in the long term, get you where you want to go and get you that goal, be it more home sales or a larger sphere of influence.
Mm-hmm.
Let me check the chat. Someone said that I don't know how to do it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if there's a specific for that question, if there's a specific thing that you're wanting to start, like Instagram, Facebook, things like that, you can drop that in the chat and Dylan or I will be able to kind of know more. So when we connect with you, we'll reach out to you or you can reach out to us that we kind of know where to start you with because they're all a little bit different, but similar in a lot of ways. And we want to know where to kind of start you off right.
So let me ask you this, Robert. If you had to create an affirming mantra that would help you overcome that block, what would that mantra be for you?
What I'm posting provides value to real estate agents.
I love it.
That's my mantra, I guess. My affirmation.
I love that. That way, you're not so worried about or so much worried about the likes or the follows that come through from it. You can be more focused on just the value of having it out there in general. And then, so yeah, that's a great mantra and a great way to keep you moving forward. What about
so then here's my follow-up question though is how do you, going back to that fear of, I don't know if this is, I don't know if what I'm doing is providing any value or anyone does care, so why even get started, is how do you judge what you're doing to say, hey, look, this is actually making an impact on somebody. Now, from my perspective is a little bit different because I'm not trying to get listings or buyers. I'm trying to attract agents.
Mm-hmm.
So how do I know if the value I'm providing is getting agents to like what I'm posting or interested, things along those lines?
Yeah, so I think that there's a few ways that you can measure that. First, I want to touch on the balance between consistency, right? So we have to know, like, have I posted this enough times to know whether or not it's giving any value? So if we only post it once, or maybe we've posted it twice in 6 months, it might not have gotten a lot of eyes on it. It might not have helped a lot of people because it wasn't shared enough. But let's say we're sharing this common theme on your Instagram or any social media. Let's say it's once a week. And we've been doing that for 6 weeks already. And maybe now that we've posted consistently, maybe we're not seeing the likes we want to see. We're not seeing the comments or the engagement that we want to see. Then after that type of consistency is when you want to take a look at what you're doing and maybe give it a pivot. Another good way to gauge is by using the poll feature in stories. So there's a really cool way where you can, when you're in stories, you can add what's called like stickers. And there's one that's a poll. So you can poll your following and say, do you like this kind of content? What would you like to see instead? And give them options. And then you can see real live statistics from the people watching your stories, whether or not it's working.
Okay.
Awesome.
I'm going to move to the next one, Dylan.
Perfect.
So deciding on an aesthetic. So this is your chance to express yourself in a fun way. And some of the ideas that we are giving for that is trying to browse through Pinterest using keywords like associated with your brand. So for instance, even when I'm onboarding new agents and we're trying to come up with a specific branding for them, I'll always tell them, like, say they want pink added a little bit on their card. I'm like, look up subtle pink mood boards on Pinterest, or like real estate pink, like any keywords that'll draw in kind of what you're looking will start to kind of bring to mind some of the designs and branding you want to go with. And then find images that you like and gather inspiration from them. So Um, same thing kind of with the mood boards, and then do your social media research. So feel free to look at other realtors' pages to get inspo. And I know I've said this in classes before, but I always like to bring it up again because I want to remind everybody that there is nothing wrong with getting inspo from other agents and other people. Even just for us posting on our Powered by FRS page, we're always looking to see how we can better our page. And sometimes by just looking at different people posting, different influencers, celebrities, even like big selling sunset realtors, whatever the case may be, we're able to see kind of what are funny things that they're posting about real estate that we can kind of make into our own. I don't always say, go grab the exact design, screenshot it, and post it, but I do think that you can take ideas from other people's designs and posts and kind of make them your own. It just makes your own unique way on it. I know that some people get a little upset if things are copied exactly, but that's kind of where we can always come into by helping you come up with creative ideas if you send us kind of, some inspo that you've seen. So that's kind of how to decide on your aesthetic. And I also feel like it's never too late to do that. If you're like, oh my gosh, I've been posting for the last year and nothing really matches or nothing really seems to be, coordinating with each other, you always have the chance to start fresh without having to delete everything. Nobody's ever going to be like, why'd she start randomly posting, the same brands? I feel like there's never a wrong time to start. So if that is one of you guys that's in our meeting today or our Zoom, then feel free to reach out to us because we'd love to start kind of creating a brand for you so that, you can start sticking with the same theme going on. And then we are going to go over to the setting a goal.
Yeah, so we want to make sure that we're focused on the desired outcome. We want to keep the end goal in mind because it helps us to remain objective when we face those obstacles that might affect our confidence. I'll give you an example. So for a while on my social media, I was getting really discouraged when I would get low likes, and it would take a hit to my confidence. And then I'd be discouraged. I wouldn't want to post again because I didn't want to get low likes. I didn't want to feel embarrassed. But then when I realized that my desired outcome isn't to get a ton of likes, that my desired outcome was, say, to get more sales, then I felt better about getting lower likes because I knew that if I continued to post, if I continued my consistency, even if I got low likes, eventually they would lead to a sale because that's how exposure works. You got to get the no's to get the yes. So by setting a goal, you're able to remain objective, like I was saying, when you're facing those obstacles. And it also helps you to create an effective strategy, which is our next point.
Yes, so we kind of went into this one with two different key content ideas. It's not so much as to picking one and sticking with one. It's kind of two content keys that we think you should be doing both of, and we kind of give examples for them. So one side would be a relevant content type that entertains. So when we say entertain, it's more of kind of your fun videos, your more relaxed side of yourself. So an example would be using a trending audio to creating a funny, relatable video. So this kind of would be more going with the fun trends that are around and still relating them into your goal of what you're posting. So for instance, you're a realtor, you're going to be wanting it to relate to real estate in some way, but also be kind of more on the fun side. Another example is we had talked about this kind of at our open forum, but those walkthrough videos that are really popular right now with a voiceover, those are kind of more for the fun. If you're walking through, you're still showcasing, yourself and real estate, but that kind of still goes in the line of entertaining. And then we have our content number 2, which would be relevant content that informs or solves a problem. So examples of that would be common questions for first-time home buyers, informative knowledge that people are going to want, maybe a little bit more serious. It doesn't always have to be super serious, but on the more serious side. And then we also have those cost breakdown videos or market updates. Those are something people are going to look at and learn something from it versus you posting kind of just a funny video. That's just more so to kind of gain some traction to your page. So these are kind of just little goal charts that we came up with, two different sides. We again still think you should be doing both of them, but it's always good to mix those in the two.
So two questions I have on that slide, Cassidy, is
Yes.
so let's talk about, first of all, the post. You have content 1 and content 2. Is it like, hey, Monday's content 1, Tuesday's content 2, Wednesday's content 1, Thursday's content 2? Is that like the sequence that you want to do, is like one after the other, or does that not matter? You just need to mix them in somehow?
Honestly, I would say, even just for our sake, as example for posting, we try to kind of not do like 3 videos one day after another that are all similar. So yes, I do like the idea of mixing it up. I always think of it in weeks as Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Tuesday, Thursdays. So say for instance, Tuesday, Thursdays were your key content number 1, the funny kind of just entertaining videos. Monday, Wednesday, Friday are kind of your more informative. That way too, if you're sticking with those weekly, like you had said earlier when you were I forget the exact example you made, but you were like, what if I'm starting to not see my audience grow from specific videos? So say for instance, every Tuesday we're posting recruiting videos, trying to get people in that way, and we're noticing that it's not always helping on Tuesdays, then maybe we kind of switch that to being our Friday post or things like that. Again, just staying consistent with those 2 types. But yes, I do think that you should probably kind of break them up. If you did them one day after another, there's no problem with that. It's not like against the rules or anything. But yes, I think that it will keep people engaged and knowing that you're not just a channel just about jokes and funny videos, but you're kind of a mix of it all.
Got it. And then
Cassidy, I'm sorry, Robert, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
I was just curious, Cassidy, I mean, in your mind, how long, what time frame do you think that we should spend on social media per day?
That's a good question. And honestly, I don't have an exact number of hours you should be putting into it. I truly feel like it really depends on what you're trying to post. So for instance, if you're wanting a video that's going to be extremely descriptive, it's going to take time. And it, even for us, we have some big projects that are going to take more time than others. Just as your average everyday posts, I would say it really depends, I guess, what they are. Do you have an example of like specific content that's maybe taken you longer, or?
Well,
I can
if you shoot a video when you're previewing a property, it's going to take you at least maybe half an hour.
Mhm.
I would say maybe half an hour. But if you're shooting something that is just comical, or the interest rates are dropping and you're trying to smile and you're trying to put more emphasis on it, it's going to take longer than a
Mhm.
half an hour.
Yeah,
I
so I
guess
would,
it depends.
yeah, I would agree. Yeah, I think so, Lupe. I think it depends, but I do want to touch on something. So that's why creating a strategy is super beneficial as for time commitment, because once you have your strategy down, you'll be able to repeat the strategy. And I'll tell you what I mean by that. So in the example that we have here, under your 2 content types, you want 4 kind of pillars. So here we have it under example. So, and these examples or these pillars, you want them to be repeatable. So you want it to be a video that you can do regularly. Maybe you're doing it once a week, or maybe you're doing it once a month. That really depends on you. But once you have your format down, right, the first time you do it, it might take you a few hours to get it just right. But once you have it done once, the next time you do it, you'll do it quicker. And then the time after that, you do it quicker. So if, let's say if interest rates is one of your, under your informative or solves a problem content, then you want to make sure that you're creating it in a way that you can repeat. So that formula might look a little bit different for everybody, but that's why the strategy is super important, because it helps you create that formula. It helps you decide those things up front so that they no longer take you a whole lot of time moving forward.
That also kind of too goes when we were talking about on the last slide of let's see, the aesthetic, when we were kind of talking about coming up with maybe some templates or your branding. Along with that comes like also creating set templates maybe that you're able to change out, say the numbers for each month, or say we're doing market updates, they're going to change. But if you have that template, it does save you a little bit of time when it comes to posting these things, because then you know every single week you already have the design kind of laid out, but you're just going to need to change some of the wording. And obviously the designs can always change along too, but that does, if you are struggling with time management, that is a way that can kind of fix that problem a little bit as well. Okay,
So my
Cassidy,
last
do you-
question,
so-
my last
I'm
question was
sorry.
on
Go ahead.
the post, do you, let's say you're creating a funny post, whatever, do you stay consistent with asking for the business on every post? So let's say you're a real estate agent and you make a funny post, do you still want to incorporate, by the way, if you know anyone who's looking to buy or sell in this area, give me a call? Or do you want to limit that on not on every post? How does that work?
I personally would limit it, just because I feel like if every single funny video you're making ends with like, reach out to me to buy or sell, it almost kind of takes away from the idea of you just like having fun and being real, like what's the correct word, relating to people, I guess. Like those videos are more so to be there so that people can be like, oh my gosh, that person's funny, outside of just like nailing me every time with, hey, give me a call. And I feel like there's nothing wrong with every now and then a funny video ending with something like that, but I wouldn't do it on every single one. Dylan, do you agree?
Yeah, I think that's a great, I think that's, sorry guys, I guess I need more coffee today. I think that's a great point, Cassidy. And for those times where you're not, we call it a call to action. So in order to take advantage of the exposure that you're getting on every post, you want a call to action. But your call to action doesn't always have to funnel back in that way, like you were saying, Robert. It doesn't have to be, give me a call if you know everyone every time. Your call to action on the funny ones could be, right, drop a comment if you agree, or send me a DM with your story if you're sharing a story.
Mm-hmm.
The call to action doesn't always have to be a sales close.
Yes.
Lupa, did you have another question?
That was a great question, Robert. Thanks for that.
All right. Well, if there's anyone here that really is the epitome of asking the right social media questions, it's me. So that is what I thrive myself on.
He looks forward to these classes the most. I just know it. Okay, we're going to move along to our next slide. Dylan.
Yes. Oh, this is my favorite one. So
Me too.
you want to embrace authenticity. Do not be afraid to be yourself and show your personality on social media. It helps you to stand out. During our social media forum in the last training, we had someone say, how do I stand out? There's so many realtors. Like I would like to know how to stand out. And that's how you do it. Because there are tons of realtors, right? There are a dime a dozen, but there's only one you. And people don't just buy into your services and your offers. They buy into you first. People want to buy from people that they know, like, trust, people that look like them, act like them, feel like them. And so the more you show up like your authentic self, the more you're going to attract your ideal client. And social media should be fun, and
Need to.
if you ever find yourself feeling like it's too forced, or like it's not working, or like there's kind of like you're running through the mud, so to speak, right? You're feeling a lot of resistance, then that's a good key for you to pivot, to change the way that you're doing things in a way that's a little bit more intuitive to you, a little bit more specialized to you. I'll give you an example. For a while on my social media, I was doing this challenge for myself where I would film my morning routine every single day and share it every single day. And I was getting so burnt out, and I just felt like I was forcing it. And when I realized that while maybe it was getting, some exposure, it was working, I didn't feel good about it. It didn't feel good to me. So I pivoted and I started showing up a little bit more authentically and just talking about it when it felt pertinent, or talking about it in a post or a story instead of a full-on video every single day. And I felt like that really helped me to not feel burnt out, to not feel like it was forced. It helped me to do it in a way that I felt like I was expressing myself rather than I was doing a chore, which is really important because, like I said, social media should be fun. And so it takes some time for your online tone and your voice to develop. And it's important to keep that in mind as you move forward, that it's okay to pivot, it's okay to change, and that your constant should be you, should be being true to you.
Yes. Okay, so this is kind of going to be our slide to wrap up, and we wanted to just make our last slide going out with encouragement to you guys that number one, we believe in you. Even just me, I actually fun fact, I hit my 2 years with this company just the other day, and in these 2 years, I have watched so many of you guys grow with social media, coming out of your comfort zone, even coming out of your comfort zone to ask us questions that maybe you were embarrassed to ask at the beginning. And it's been such a privilege watching so many people grow in this way. So we wanted to end off by saying, use your heart. You're emotionally and personally invested in your business. So replicate that in your marketing. Your biggest fans will be the ones that know without a doubt that you love what you do. Talking about your passions and having others respond is so rewarding. Get in front of your customers online. If you provide great customer service, they will provide the engagement you seek. So yeah, with that being said, again, never hesitate to reach out to us. I have seen even some people in this chat right now, including you, Robert, come out of your comfort zone and asking us questions and growing in social media. And again, it's so awesome, and it does take time, and some days will feel harder than the other, but that is exactly what we are here for.
I want you to
question
know,
before
I
we-
posted something the other day. I posted my 3 biggest takeaways from the 121 event and then I even added a photo of myself and Matt Thompson being stupid, which is not hard for either of us to do. And so I was
and
like, yeah, look at me go.
that was on
Yes.
that was on Instagram, right, Robert?
Well, Matt posted on Instagram. I posted
Yeah.
on LinkedIn, my
Yeah,
3
I
biggest
saw it.
takeaways. And so,
That
yeah,
was
see,
huge.
so and I wouldn't have done it if prior to that we wouldn't have done that class that you all are doing, because you've kind of given me that motivation, inspiration to do it. It's obviously, I know we
Yay.
joke about it. We joke about it a lot. It's not my thing, but I'm embracing it and being a part of it. So I appreciate you and Dylan being on here and
Yeah.
helping us weirdos that are not socially talented be somewhat okay with this.
Yes, we are proud
Proud
of
of
you,
you, Robert.
Robert.
Good job.
I know. I was pretty proud of myself. And I will tell you though, I will tell you that fear still came in because as I'm writing it, I'm like, I don't know, this seems kind of lame. I mean, like, I don't know, like it's a goofy photo of me and Matt, like we're next to C21 and we're making like, and I'm like, oh man, do I post that? That doesn't seem very serious and business-like. And this is all the stuff that's going through my head. And I'm
Yep.
sharing that because my assumption is that there's people on here that have the same thing going through their head.
Even Dylan and I, literally all the time, like every time I post anything, even on the Powered by FRS page, I'm like, I hope people are gonna like this, like what if they don't? But then like they end up being like, comments start coming and people remember it. Like just right now, Robert, everybody remember you posting that the other day. And
Yeah.
so it's like it's those little things. It's your hardest critic on yourself,
I saw a
So
post the other day. I want to share it. It said, life exists in the cringe.
mm-hmm.
So like if other people are cringing at you, or maybe you're cringing at yourself, you're being true to yourself, you're being authentic, you're being expressive, and it's that outer judgment looking in on yourself that's causing that cringe. But it's telling you that you're in the right place because you're expressing yourself and you're putting yourself out there.
Yes.
So I have another question for you. So going back to the kind of funny stuff, in my mind, this is what goes on in my head, and this is where you tell me, okay, that makes sense, or no, you're overthinking this. There are certain accounts I follow on that I go look at sometimes because like you said, hey, go, what are some of these other accounts doing? And I'll notice memes or something posted from real estate accounts. And essentially, it's like a meme where it's almost like they're talking bad about their clients, meaning like, so I'll give you an example. I had this picture the other day. I was going to send it to you. And I'm sure for those who've been on social media, you've probably seen the meme of Ben Affleck and he's on a street corner smoking a cigarette and he looks like he's just miserable.
Mm-hmm.
And they took that picture and it was like when your client calls you at 4:50 and you're trying to get out of the office at 5. And I understand they post that and they're trying to be funny. I look at that as if I'm your clientele, you're showing me that you're so bothered by my phone
Mm-hmm.
call to you.
Yep. No, that's a bad
So
look.
my question is, and I see this sometimes, there's another real estate site called The Broke Agent, which is a very popular site. And I think it's the stupidest thing because they do stuff like that all the time,
Mm-hmm.
and people think it's funny. And I just think I'm like, your general public is looking at that and it looks like you're upset with your clients. Now, am I overthinking that and it's just not a big deal? Or is that really kind of a bad look where you can be funny, but don't do it at the expense of your clientele?
Yeah, I
I think
honestly, I would not ever talk even really about your clients at all in these funny videos. I feel like they're more so like trend like Dylan, I'm trying to think of a good example because I personally would never bring your clients into this unless it's something that's like saying how amazing your clients are.
yeah.
Because what were you gonna say, Dylan?
Oh, sorry. I was just going to touch. I also think it depends a little bit on your target demographic. So if the broke agent, if their target demographic, the people that they want to reach is other agents, then commiserating with them a little bit in a funny way, then, it increases camaraderie and they get more of their client, which is other agents. But say an agent were to post that and their ideal client or their target demographic who they want to reach is clients that are looking to buy or sell homes, then that's not the type of content that you want to be posting, right? You don't want to commiserate with your clients about your clients. That doesn't make any sense. So, it really depends on who your target demographic is, who you want to reach.
Got it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Cool.
Hi, Elizabeth. Welcome on. Good to see you.
Start over.
Oh,
No, I got things to do, man.
Cassidy, in the near future, I'd like to hear something about maybe podcasting. If you
Oh,
guys are familiar with that, I think that would be kind of interesting.
that is a fun topic. Yes, we will make sure to write that down. Yeah, if you guys ever have any classes that you want to specifically see, please let us know. Like you just did, I'm gonna write that down because we always want to make sure that we are um, giving you guys answers for what you guys ask a lot. That's why we chose this class this time because we really wanted to not only build your confidence up, but we did have a lot of questions about confidence last time. And I think we are going to shoot to do another open forum in the following month because Robert, you were in there for that one. But it was really awesome kind of engaging with everybody's questions. And there was a lot more questions on things that we were kind of surprised that you guys asked and we want to help more with. So with that being said, I'm actually going to drop Dylan and I's email again in here. If you ever have specific questions you want answered, please feel free to reach out to us. We are always here.
And then we had one question in the chat from Rosa Delgado, and that was which platforms should we be on? And that's a great question. And it kind of shoots back to our strategy, right? Who is our target demographic? If it's first-time home buyers, then maybe you want to look at TikTok because the majority of people on TikTok are a younger demographic that are coming into that buying a house age, right? But let's say your target demographic is folks who are looking to buy or sell their third or fourth home, then maybe you want to go to Facebook because there's more of an older demographic on Facebook. That's how they consume their content. So I think it really depends on who you want to reach. Instagram is kind of a good middle ground where you get a good mix of both younger and older folks. And it has the short form video very much like TikTok, but you get to incorporate the metrics where you get to see who's watching, how many people are watching, what kind of people is your following that Facebook offers, since Instagram is now owned by Facebook.
Thank you.
Sure.
Okay, and then any last questions before we head out?
I'd like to thank you guys.
Yeah, I don't have any questions, but I
you.
think you two are awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, guys. Well, we'll
We're
see you
happy to be
next
here.
time, and we are looking forward to chatting with you again. We dropped our emails in the chat, so if anyone has questions, slide our way.
Good job, you guys. Thanks.
Thanks.
Thank
Bye.
you, guys.